Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing this evening? I hope you are well. We are back with the carriage and over 500 subscribers. Isn't it awesome? For those that have missed it, there was a video on Tuesday for the giveaway. Tonight is your last chance to enter the giveaway for the wonderful book. All you have to do is go back to Tuesday's video, like and leave a comment, and obviously be subscribed to the channel. Good evening, Lewis. How are you? I hope you are well. This is weird, like my laptop is reacting in real time with my display, and my microphone appears to look like the lines that show me how well my microphone's responding and how often I'm shouting too loud for you are moving nice and smooth, which it hasn't done for a while. So let's not jinx it, eh? Yes, so carriage. Oh, and also, now that we're past 500 subscribers, I am able to post community posts, which I have done, and I've left one with a poll that will genuinely affect the future of the channel. So if you haven't seen that, make sure to have a look and check it out. It will affect, I'm basically asking what people would like to see so I can plan future projects around what people actually want to watch me do. I am going to disappoint quite a few people because only 9% of you have voted for sessions doing some shunting. And now that I've spent money on a second camera for that, we are definitely doing that. Just saying. So yeah, the aim of tonight is to finish the build of this carriage. We're not going to do that. Mainly because I'm the most prepared person in the world and I don't have my mould for the roof shape. It's somewhere in a box. If it was here, I'd bash a bit of brass around it and do it, but yeah. Blame someone that isn't me. What we are going to do is get the bogey finished, get the other bogey built, get the bits we couldn't do with wire, and see where we get on from there. I will probably leave doing the roof on stream until I have the sprung buffers that I'm going to fit to it. So we'll go off and do something else and then have a, oh look, we can finish this carriage now live stream, where we make the roof, detail that, stick the sprung buffers on before painting it. So whilst we probably won't finish the build, it probably will be the last live stream for a while with it, because there isn't all that much to do. So yeah, what we want is bogies to start with. And I did, once not streaming, realise that this bit of brass here, this T-shaped bit, is in fact the coupling adapter that I couldn't find last time, that I didn't care much about because I don't want to fit tension locks to it. But that would slide into this slot on the front of the bogey and allow you to fit tension lock couplings if that's what you wanted. As I say, not really for me. Good evening, Tom. I am tired and achy this evening. My arthritis is playing me up in my knee after a day out in town shopping, which is to be expected, really. And good evening, Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. How are you this evening? I hope you are well. Good to remind you all that hydration is important. Because it is. And yes, what we want to do is get some steps fitted to this bogie, get the other bogie built, and then get on. And to do that, we need to do some cutting. So we'll bring in the cutting mat. You can tell I was prepared by the fact the cutting mat was already here. It's always a sign of preparedness. And that I knew where my knife was and didn't have to just look for it. I'm good. The temperature of raw mail is going well. Excellent. I am glad to hear that. I'm very, very glad to hear that. So we're going to start playing around with these detailing pieces of like the steps by cutting out one of the steps, because, you know, good place to start. And you can see it's got a score line down for us to fold it. Hydration is important, but fried chicken is importanter. No, no. No, no. Hydration is more important than fried chicken, but fried chicken is still important. Which is why it featured in a Queen song. There we go, we'll just file down the bits of sprue on here. You cannot drink fried chicken. You can if you blend it hard enough. Fried chicken is important, but pizza is important. All fried, unhealthy foods are important. I have pizza. I have pizzas regularly. I have children. Oh, good news, Sophia. You don't have to become an ON30 modeler. I sold that train set. 009's still there for you, though. Cake o'clock is very important. And there we have a step with its back bent up. What, you had an ON30 train set? I had an ON30 Christmas train set. I can't remember the name of the artist now, but it's one of those high-end artsy things. And it was done as an ON30. I think it was a US mogul with four carriages behind it. Thomas Kincaid, that's the one. That is the one. Yes. Sell it to the bloke from the other day. I did sell it to the bloke from the other day. He actually phoned up later that evening to say, please, can I have it? And paid over the phone to make sure it didn't go anywhere else. Will look good with the logo painted black and the coach is painted trap. I mean, they would be the most... It look better than it does now, not gonna lie. But yeah, so it was worth my time getting it down and showing it to him the other day, even though I knew he wasn't gonna buy it there and then. That's nice than painted. Yeah. So if it wasn't for the fact it was a cheesy Christmas set, there was a chance I would have taken it home. Especially for the price I was pushing it out for. There we go. 2 steps, bent to shape. That was way more difficult than it should have been. That one goes that side. That one goes that side. I'd have been tempted by it, but no. Exactly. Might look quite good for repaint. Yes. Exactly. With a repaint. Standard Batman train set, I believe. I believe it is, yes. I have certainly seen what appear to be very, very similar carriages in the Batman ON30 range. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a standard Batman set with a bit of a paint job on it. And there is the bot reminding you to like and subscribe. So, you know, do that. Because it does help the channel. I hear there's 500 of you now. 512, actually. Which means there's 500 of you that aren't here. Seem to get away from the ON30 market lately. Oh, do they? I did not know that. Celebrated 1 year on YouTube recently. Excellent. Congratulations on 1 year on YouTube. I have been doing this for longer than I care to admit. Long enough to build my own recording studio. And good evening, Human City Junction. How are you? It has been a while since we have seen you here. Just giving the stream a thumbs up. Thank you very much. It is really appreciated. It does genuinely help YouTube look at stuff like that and say, oh, people like it, we'll recommend it more. Right, so I've accidentally ended up bending the two end ones. I wasn't planning on quite that. I wanted the middle one, but yeah. If they had a little bit more meat to them, they'd be much easier to do. They've also had another set as the Spirit of England, the Dormer Spitfire, Junior Flags, Bulldogs, Routemaster buses, and that time England won the World Cup in '66. I won't let anyone forget. But with the same American narrow gauge Mongol and carriages. That's yeah. Okay. Right, I definitely bent that all nicely on camera. I also discovered I already had a Dapol SE&CR wagon in my stash. Well, you can't have too many. No, I've had a clear out of the random stock that was chucked in here, so I can't bring out my collection of them and say, look, say you're fine. Yeah, that definitely makes me think that. Oh no, I see how that goes. Aha, right. That makes more sense. I know what I'm doing now. Catering to the cats and Lily. Yes. Well, someone has to. They'll get very upset otherwise. Right, now I need to cut off the little bits that go with these and bend them and such forth. So you can see on here there's two there, there's a curved one, and there's three more. And there's the same again. And those are to hold the steps on. These are going to be really fun to solder together. I'm really looking forward to it. Definitely. So, whilst we've got lots of people here and a quiet moment, and for those that aren't on my Discord, I promised you some form of announcement. Yeah, I know what I need now. Yeah, I said I had an announcement to make about my future, but had to wait until paperwork and stuff was done. And that is the model shop I have been working at is now partially mine. It is 15% mine to be precise. But this really is full-time self-employed railway modeller territory now. Isn't that quite cool? Have you changed your name again in the middle of the stream, Christopher? Hydration is important. Added to it, not changed. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for the congratulations there, everyone. It feels pretty good, not gonna lie. I'm sure I only cut out 4 of those, but I've got 5 of them. I'm not going to question it. But yeah, this is something that's been potentially on the cards for a little while. That is now there, and it feels a little bit scary, but also pretty awesome. Kit made by IKEA. Yeah. Yeah, why not? It would at least explain not having... In fact, no, it can't be made by IKEA, because I've got all the right parts. I've just got too many of them. Brass details multiply like rabbits. Ah, that's what it is it? But yeah, I never thought I'd come out of everything that's happened recently in a position where I can say I own part of a model shop. But it feels so good to say it. Let's get the ones that are actually bad, because this is not easy to file down, and I'm not convinced I'm doing any positives to it. Say it again. What, that I part own a model shop? And look, all I do to make money now is stand behind my till in my model shop and sit here at this workbench doing model railways. I mean, those are some pretty impressive things, aren't they? Just wow. Since you had an OM30 set, does that mean you're on your way to carrying O scale in your wonderful shop? Unfortunately not. We've had that set has been sat around in the shop for years. Years and years and years. It just needed putting in the right place and in front of the right people. We don't get enough customers that do O for us to justify it, unfortunately. Didn't see it when I was there. It was up on top of the shelf above the end gauge when you were there. I moved it to the other side of the shop so it was above the 00 gauge. It sold the same day. Selling the APT gave you. Yeah, I mean, it went where the APT had been, so I was glad to get that APT out of my hair. Cream rises to the top, I suppose. So if more people came in and wanted O gauge, I would stock it. I can get it for them, but if no one ever buys it, there's no point in me getting it. Right, I'm going to turn the soldering iron on. Good evening again, Simon. Now this could, and probably will, go horrendously wrong. So you can all be prepared for that and laugh at me and stuff. We're going to use a bit of wood to spread flux, because we can. That would have gone wrong if I left that the way round I had originally put it. Good evening, Matt. How are you? I hope you are well. You just missed my announcement that I now part own the model shop I work in. Where's my... There they are. I want to be able to hold these things with things that aren't going to burn me. When you can cover the whole piece with solder, that's when you know you had too much solder. Just flip through the chat and saw that. Congrats. Well, thank you. So it's a very, very good bit of news for me and very exciting. Much better than this being employed lark. Dance all break should be with me tomorrow so I can have a short SE&CR goods train. Excellent. Excellent. There's mine. See if you can make yours look better than mine does, yeah? Definitely appropriate for some of my modelling. Totally. Just building the Heron kit from said shop. Excellent. I hope it is an enjoyable build. Quick series on YouTube and post NXT on Discord. Don't know causing Discord on my Discord. Or do. I'm on YouTube and can't see. There we go. The step is starting to come together. I've soldered the first one on wrong. And now I've broke the second one off. Doing well here, aren't I? Told you it'd all go wrong, give you something to laugh at. I have EBP ends and sides somewhere. Maybe I'll knock a unit together when I run out of ideas. You mean you're not just going to use some Great Western Auto coaches and claim it's an EBP? Good evening, Red. How are you? I hope you are well. Thank you for your help with the other project the other day. It's very much appreciated. And yourself? I am very well, thanks. Oh, I knocked this one off again. Darn this brass conducting heat thing. Why do physics have to be physics? Is it too much to ask to be able to break the laws of physics once in a while? There we go. Now that I haven't bent that completely in the wrong shape. That step apparently attaches somehow like that. Apparently him upstairs gets upset if you do. Well, that's not very nice. I don't want to do it all the time. Just when I need to for convenience. Scotty. A clean iron is quite important as well as clean everything else. But yeah, I only want to break the laws of physics to make soldering easier. I don't see why that should be such a problem. There it is. Right. That's already tinned up and covered in solder. So that should make that easier. Got to be careful now not to melt the white metal parts. There we go, we attached a step. It's not 100% in the right place, but it's close enough. And now we've got a middle step to do the same thing too. And of course, another reminder that tonight is your last chance to enter the 500 subscriber giveaway. Go back to Tuesday's video. Like, comment, be subscribed to the channel for your chance to win the wonderful book here. Hi, all Gary from Australia. I hope you are well. Good evening. I am not bad, thanks. How are you? There isn't anyone above me unless you count the family of bats who live in my attic. I do count the family of bats who live in your attic. They very clearly live above you. Good thanks. Excellent, that's what I like to hear. Airline pilots, right? I was wondering that. For the International Space Station. I was going to say that Red's very lucky if he doesn't get airliners flying overhead. We get them quite low at times. On their way into Gatwick. I mean upstairs in my house. Well, I mean, they're still above you. Boeing 747s have one upstairs. That they do. I don't know if any ever got used for their intended original purpose, but yeah, they do. I really do so far out in the breeders that I'm not in anyone's flight path. Sometimes if a local air ambulance fly over though. Oh, that must be nice to not have aircraft fly over. We are directly under Gatwick's flight path here. And airplanes from the local airbase. I mean, they can be quite loud. I am well versed in how loud those things can get. Meh. Bowen's the Everones. Especially nice little kit ones, yeah? Got a nice Vulcan kit at the shop. People want it. These classic kits should come with a warning that they're older and flash heavy. Fortunately, I am ready for it. I thought that was just part of being in the classics range. I've just realised I'm doing all this with blooming plastic wheels in here, aren't I? I should take these out. Mosquitoes, please. I don't know if I have any mosquitoes in the shop at all at the moment. I certainly don't have Hornby's new one. Airfix's new one. Should call them by the name they use, really, shouldn't I? Once had a Lancaster prepping for an air show near us, flew so low over the field behind the yard, nearly took me off my feet. Fantastic. One of my abiding memories will be seeing the Vulcan at the East Fortune Air Show. Now that was noisy. Oh god, yeah. Especially when they'd come along and stick it nose up like that at full throttle to just go along really slowly. Oh, what a fantastic beast. Just musing in my head about... I was just using it in my head about if you were new to the hobby. Well, yeah, you're right there, Christopher. You are right there. Once flew on a 747 converted cargo plane on a courier trip for work. At the top level was an only area set up for passengers. 2 other passengers, racehorse rooms on the plane. Wow, cool. Vulcan's okay. I found the Victor louder. I mean, I actually couldn't hear for 2-3 minutes. Hydration is important. I once stood at the end of a runway as 5 tornadoes took off. Full afterburner. They passed no more than 100 foot above my head. All 5 of them at once. That was loud. Hello again, Lewis. Did you disappear for a while? Wow. Yeah. Wonderful clip for TV presenter. Piece of camera about Spitfires, but it has not PG-13 language when playing past feet over his head. Yeah. Sounds incredible and damn near deafening. It was certainly both of those things. Yes, sorry about that. Well, don't be sorry at all, Lewis. You're under no obligation to sit and watch me. I just appreciate the fact you turn up in the first place. This is not going as planned. As you can probably tell from the fact it keeps breaking off. All I want to do is get a little tack on the front of each of them so I can solder them properly from behind. I'm going to go from behind to start with this one. Because if that side's held, this side won't move when I melt it again. At least that's the theory. Oh, look at you all chatting away whilst I'm concentrating on getting a step in place. We have 2 steps. Oh, tell me all about it. I'll music to the ears for about half a second. It lasted a bit more than half a second, yeah, but it was brilliant. Planes below the horizon, well, faraway hills as it approaches. Aha, so no idea it was coming then. Believe the damn blast, dearie me, that was loud and low. I bet that's his exact words. Currently running my mainline Manor class 7823 Hook Norton Manor with a rake 3 LNER Grizzly Teak coaches. Very nice. Props about 2 foot from the ground at one point. Excellent, that's the correct way to fly. Good evening, apologies for joining good people late. Good evening, Killian. How are you? I hope you are well. You hear that support thing come down from Spirit Line? Yeah. That was a late great Ray Hanna for if you Vance not talking the hats off, he was too clearly. Oh, he was rather good. I'm rather none such things when it comes to straight from the Yanks. Hooray for steps. Yeah, we're getting there. Do you like the SE&CR Birdcages? Thought about getting some. I think they look quite good in KLR chocolate and black. See, the problem is, Red, for the KLR, you want these ones that I'm building rather than the ones you can buy pre-made. Because look at that, that's a big, beefy, modern mainline carriage. This is a nice little antique thing. Even the panelling looks a bit more antique on the kit built ones than on the Bachmann ones. Bit of a cold, but I'm getting much better, thank you. Glad to hear you're getting better. Colds suck. Yeah, you've really. It does. Yeah. So this is SER style panelling rather than the later Southeastern and Chatham style panelling. Good point. It's a very long carriage and a bit new for my line of passenger stock generally. Yeah, it's a 60-foot carriage. It's huge, really. What the size difference is? Were they rebuilt longer or was that a different series? It's different series. So the one I'm building now, they are 1904 builds. It's said here somewhere and I can't see it. I'm pretty sure they're 1904. It's 46 foot long. The Bachmann ones are 1912 builds and are 60 foot long. So there's quite a difference there. And then the other 2 I've got to build that are also early 1904 builds, and we'll go with this one, are a 50-foot 1-inch brake for the other end. So we've got all the parcel storage is in this one. And a 51-foot composite to go in the middle. So all 3 carriages are different lengths. I mean, the 1912 builds that Bachmann have modelled, all of them are 60 foot. So it's a much more modern, uniform looking rake, the Bachmann one. So something more appealing about the Mallard models ones than the Bachmann. Yeah, there is. I really like them. These are going to be the main southeastern set for Oak Hill when they're done. 50 foot 1 inch is a bit of an odd size. It is extremely odd, isn't it? I have no idea how they came up with 50 foot and 1 inch when they were drawing it. But I suppose they weren't much worried about the measurements as getting it looking right with the correct panelling and correct size compartments, etc. But yeah, interesting that the other two are both nice round numbers. Should get all these bits that I pushed off back. £50 chassis plus half an inch for beading at each end. But then the other two are round numbers. You know, this is exactly 46 foot. The other one's exactly 51 foot. So even if you come up with a logical reason for that extra inch, it makes the other two odd for not having it. That goes that way, so we want to flip that over. I mean, no one's ever accused the South Eastern Chatham of being a sensible railway company. Well, I've certainly never seen people that model it accused of being sensible. Oh look, there's a link to my website that I haven't updated yet. The last update was in October, when I rushed an update in 5 minutes because I realised I was putting out some adverts that included the web address and it said nothing about what I was advertising. So that was sensible. Trio sets carriages made of 51-foot lavatory brake, third, 54-foot composite, 50-foot 1 inch brake third. I assume that's what you're building up. Nope, not even nearly. I've got a 46-foot, a 51-foot, and a 50-foot 1 inch. The 50-foot 1 inch is indeed a brake third, though. Not a lavatory brake third. I actually wanted this way, didn't I? Oh, I'm such a clever person. Not sure about that as a set. Well, according to the instructions, it is. That's really hot. Don't touch it. The instruction booklet lists it as a set. Does it say where their info comes from? Info comes from Carriage Stock of the SE&CR by David Gould, published by the Oakwood Press, and drawings and designs are from Mike King. So I'm going to let them off. Hydration is important. To be fair, my own stock isn't exactly uniform. The only actual uniform set I have is the Rake of Emerald and Magnolia Mark 1s, and they are only used on the Expresses. Yeah, who needs uniform sets? Whoever pays any attention to destructions. Me. Sometimes. Definitely don't always. But sometimes. Oh, you're sticking out. That's why. Don't be sticking out. No, but the SCR went for fixed carriage sets in a big way. It really did, yes. SECR was all about fixed carriage sets. Well, that went well. I dropped a blob of nearly 500-degree solder on the white metal spring and didn't manage to solder the bit I wanted to solder. So, yeah, that was great. Not to say carriages of the same length. No, exactly. Who needs things that are the same length and uniform and nice? And there goes the rest of that spring. Stick. I know the solution isn't really more solder, but in this case I'm just going to keep applying more solder until it sticks. Yeah, that spring did not come out well. I think I'll be running this set with that side facing the back scene. Yeah, I know, flux. It was all tinned, so it should be fine. It shouldn't need more flux. But yes, I should have used more flux, because you can't have too much flux. I don't want to do the other side of this bogie now. I'm going to do the truss rods under here instead, because I can. And I'm going to try to not punch the camera. That is about where it shows on there. So, okay, that's nice and simple. We want to come back to where the tab comes through. A bit of filler will hide that. It'll be painted black anyway. Yeah, be nice if you could see the springs. Sulk. Exactly. It's my live stream and I'll sulk if I want to. No, I want to bend this side. Not that much, admittedly, but oh, I do almost feel like punching the camera should have its own command, actually, Andy, now that you mention it. That one's cut in there. And see, now we can get a truss rod under there. But first I should try and clean this up a little bit because that's a lot of old flux. I can't imagine how all that flux got there. So we'll put a bit more flux on now that we've cleaned up all that old flux. Remember, just slap it all on, you can't have too much. Make sure there's some fresh solder. Ow! Fresh solder everywhere. Did you know, just after you put your soldering iron on the tip of your reel of solder, it makes the tip of that reel of solder really, really hot. And if you then put your hand into the side of it, it hurts. Well, you do now. Been there, done that, got the burns to prove it. Well, this is resin cord lead solder. So it actually managed to leave a spot of resin just there on my hand, which I have now picked off because I didn't fancy that staying there all day. I've got to stop putting stuff on the wire for the soldering iron. I've not lived until you drop the hot thing you grabbed because it slides out of your hand on the burned skin. Yeah. Well, there's our truss rod. I trust you like it. If you came here expecting better than that, welcome, you must be new. Dad jokes. Exactly. All the dad jokes. It's my job to make dad jokes. Cutting there. Ever since I became a dad, it's very much been my job to make these jokes. So I'm quite well practiced at it now. Not in the way anymore. There we go. I can't make dad jokes. I'm not a father. It'd be a faux pas. Groan. Remember, Gary, makes dad jokes. You don't have to. Oh, but do it anyway. If a dad joke is told and there's no one here, it does anyone get for? No, but they groan. Yeah. To be fair, dad jokes to me tend to make me think more of my granddad. Well, I mean, you'll notice the end of that there is still dad. Just saying. Let's try and not get... I really need to replace that blooming tip cleaner. It keeps losing bits of wire wool onto the soldering iron. Fresh solder. No dad jokes will hurt during this live stream. No, only the ears of everyone having to listen to them. Live in Germany, I won't jokes. Well, actually, that is less dad jokes, more sarcastic wisecracking. I mean, sarcastic wisecracking not count anymore. World's funniest German lives near me. Aha. I know who you mean and I can't think of his name. It's only recently that I actually found out he lives locally. That's it, Henning. So I had someone in the shop the other day that had been out to see him live. They were telling me that he was local and made jokes that were based on what the locals think of having a German near it, having him there as a German. Because, you know, people still ask him about the war. There we go, a second truss rod. I'm going to refill the hydration vessel because it's empty. Lives in Bexhill. Wow, someone has to. I used to work there. I'd never lived there. Hydration is important. Right, that's the truss rods on. Where's my pen? Risky move, closing the laptop lid down a bit. Right, I can cross through those now. So now we need to put alarm gear and light switch on the end. Which again we are forming from wire. There'll be very low detail. It sits just below the top of the beading there. Worst case scenario is that when they run out of things to put the sausage into. Oh. Yes, that line does appear where I want it to. I would tell you a joke about pizza, but I think it would be a bit too cheesy. Groan. You get your groan. Don't lose the things you want to use. Good evening, Richard. I am very well, thanks. How are you? I'm not feeling nearly as tired and achy as I was earlier. It's great. This is what I love about doing this live stream. I can start it feeling terrible, and by the end I feel great. But I blame that entirely on you lot in the audience. Rob, good. Been a lazy day. I didn't get home from work till 4:30 this morning. Yeah, I'd be having a lazy day as well. Blooming heck. go, we've got it on. We're now going to get the other end stuck. So now I can stick the ones in the middle. Without worrying too much about it all falling off. Trying to work out how to attach my J88's body to the chassis, but that's been a bit of a challenge. Ah, that is a pain. It's a pain indeed. It's looking rather good so far, Gary. Thank you, Richard. Say, in theory, we've got something rather carriage looking here. Before you ask what we're doing, I have to admit it. I've been playing Minecraft now. I'm off to bed, so I have to get up for work tomorrow. Good night all. Sleep well and stay safe. Yay, Minecraft. I will be setting up a new Minecraft server for me and the kids and my brothers and my nieces and nephews on Tuesday. So you won't be alone in playing Minecraft. Now, sleep well, don't work too hard, and all that jazz. Great to have you here, as always. But what is everyone up to? Because it is that time now. It's 10:30 when I ask you all what you're doing. So, you know, what you're doing. Hydration is important, says the bot. Watching your stream. Good answer, Richard. I'm just looking at the Bachmann one for how this runs down here. And they've got it so that it runs down and stops where the brake pipe is. Caddying an 1871 four-wheel third-class brake carriage. Oh, interesting. Very interesting indeed. Thinking of adding some real coal to a couple of wagons I have. I approve of using real coal. I think that sounds like a great idea. I've got a pretty decent sized lump of it sat on Oak Hill, waiting for me to smash it up and use it. What did the drummer name his twin daughters? No idea. I will let you finish your joke. Printing off a sword, if it were real scale, would be the size of a telephone pole. That's quite a large sword. Fixing an old Pullman kit that's seen better days. Sides and windows are very unglued. I approve of fixing old kits, especially Pullmans. Pullmans are great. Sounds interesting. It does indeed. Priming the interior of a Heron and watching your stream. Whoa, hey! Must be getting on well if you're priming the interior. Fake coal doesn't look right. No, it doesn't, Richard. You're quite right. And a decent bag of ash too. I do indeed have a decent bag of ash too. And I am looking forward to using that on Oak Hill, possibly. And we shall get a pile of it on South Park Quarry at some point. I'm not looking at my bank account after ordering baseboards, also painting that SE&CR van I found. Yeah, I can see why you would avoid looking at your bank balance. That makes total sense. I want Anna to. Ah, yes, of course. Did you know the joke or did you work it out, Linny? That's the question. Sword is for Optimus Prime, my Transformers stop motion project. So quite a big sword then, yeah. Right, I think what I'm gonna cut where this is bent and solder that much of it on. I don't have a bag of ash. Yeah, so I got Linny to get me both when they were down here and they went to play on the Kent and East Sussex. Because both will come in handy. No, I'm not going full Johnny Depp. Never go full Johnny Depp. There's 8 steps, including the exterior painting and decals. Ah, so not many then. Fair enough. I've got to wait till Tuesday for payday. Boo! Waiting for payday. Payday should be every day. I now need cork, rail joiners, and maybe more flexi track too. Well, you'll be glad to hear I have cork and flexi track, and I have rail joiners now because Pico spoiled me. I need to come up with a name for the pub on Station Road, Linton. Built one pub as the Cat and Fiddle in the past. I mean, that's a good name. The ash was still warm when bagged, fresh from the smoke box. Excellent. Excellent stuff. I need to run some tests with it to see how bad it is for DCC sound. Not DCC at all, even. Yeah. Because I know it's possible that it will conduct electricity and I won't be able to use it as ballast, but I've got a million other uses for it if I can't. But if I can, I will. Name it after pub where you live. Almost doesn't sound very Victorian Surrey. It doesn't, does it? I want Amity, yeah. It was Ash from the run I was cab riding on. Excellent. Excellent. No, and Omens does not work for a Victorian pub in Surrey. Definitely not. I forgot to tin it. That was silly. Put the flux on and never tinned it. There we go. Could be boring calling it the Red Lion. That would be boring. Did I punch the camera again? I never even noticed. I do apologise. Why did they call him Omen? Does he have 6 on his forehead? See, Oak Hill 2 doesn't have space to have the pub on the layout anymore. So I've saved myself that problem. It's all well and good, the flux being on here and holding this to the side of the carriage. I can't tell if it's stuck though. That'll do. No, that's Damien Kelly. Prince Albert, God bless him. Be period appropriate. It would. Damien Derek Trotter. Oh, well, if we're going to bring Damien Trotter into this, are we going with the Uncle Albert instead of the Prince Albert? And good evening, Paul. How are you? I hope you are well. Can cross that one out now. Yay for crossing stuff out. It's time to put the steps on the other side. Got to do it at some point, haven't I? Join the war. Doing good, just renumbering wagons. Aha. So all your wagons will not have the same number then. I approve of this very much. I wanted two of the same wagon from our local wagon supplier. And to save me some effort, one of the ones he sold me was a misprint that didn't have a number on it. So I've got no number to remove. I was very thankful for that. Yes. Oh, that was brilliant. Cigar, they're going to call it Sigourney after the actress. This boy, they're going to call it Rodney after Dave. Trigger. I don't need to rewatch it again. Especially the much more poorly aged early seasons. Because there really were some very poorly aged jokes in there. There we go. 2 steps folded up. I wonder how much easier these would be to fold the other way to how I'm folding them. The answer appears to be quite. Yes, one of the best scenes ever. And not just in Only Fools and Horses. Hydration is important. I still don't need to watch it again though. I at least need to finish rewatching MASH first. Ah, lots of fumes there, but the steps are now tinned. The Nag's Head. This is called the Nag's Head. Right, we've got one of those. We need 4 of those. That'd do. Well, hey. We have 4 of those. We need 2 curvy ones. There's one. Trim that a bit there because that's a rather large bit of sprue still stuck, and there's 2 curly ones. And like that, that's how we fit our tension locks, is this thing here. Slides in there. And you can see if I cut the other bits off, it even has some little etched bits to push up for aligning the coupling and then the screw holes. Mash, now you're talking. Well, hey, I'm glad you approve. I am midway through season 2 on this lockdown, on this watch through. There. It's my second watch through since the first lockdown. Because, you know, MASH. Nag's Head was my nearest pub when I lived in St Leonard's. Ah, living in St Leonard's. Poor you, you have my sympathy. Thanks for the video, that's really great. Must be off the food prep. Okay, thanks for coming, Andy. Enjoy your food. Very important part of the day, and I shall speak to you later. Not a big fan of MASH. Fair enough. I love it. I genuinely think it's one of the best TV shows like ever. But each to their own. I prefer chips. California Highway Patrol. That was chips, wasn't it? You live in Hailsham where the air is filled with the sound of dueling banjos. That it is. But it's still not St Leonard's. So it's got that going for it. Seen it once or twice, preferred Dad's Army. Ah, different war. I've only watched Dad's Army through the once since the start of lockdown, though. My previous watch through, my time watching Dad's Army through before that was when I was building Remembrance. I myself have turfing night. I'll see you on Discord tomorrow. Good night, Red. Sleep well. Don't work too hard, etc. How about Rock and Chips? Rock and Chips was good. I watched that through as part of my Only Fools watch through. Because I did all the Only Fools shows. Punch the camera. I should rename the camera that, shouldn't I? Very different style of humour. Indeed it was, Christopher. I repeat it. Yes, they were clearly setting up for another instalment of Rock and Chips at the end of the last one. But they definitely shouldn't ever. That is stuck to me. Ow. Ow. So, for those that missed that, as I was soldering the bracket onto here, it slipped out the tweezers. It flew through the air. And is now attached to my arm. Ow. So Chipper's not it's posted the next head St Leonard's on Discord for you, Lily. God, St Leonard's on Discord. Poor place. I'd rather you stayed in the tweezers, actually. That's nasty, my sympathy. Yeah, it's not often you manage to be soldering something and end up sticking it to yourself instead, is it? I'm going to try and not do that again. Remember, I do these things so you don't have to. You just get to laugh at me. There we go, we've got the second one on. Quite nicely. Although that side clearly didn't go on very nicely because it just fell off. There we go. That's those two steps soldered together. Right, that's all those bits of soldering done. They need a moment to cool down. So now we have steps with legs. Some form of focus would be great. There we go, that'll do. Steps with legs. And cool enough to work with. So our legs now just fold up. I'll tell you what, making these bogies feels like a bit of a fool's game, since I could probably just buy Backman spares. Never mind, eh? YouTube's been funny and kicked me out. I'm so sorry for missing half your stream. Don't be sorry, Lewis. It's fine. No one has to be here, and especially if YouTube caused it. It's always nice to have more people here, and I do appreciate it. But I won't get upset if you don't watch the whole thing. In reality, I'm impressed my average viewership is as high as it is. Hydration is important. I'm pretty sure there's a few of you that stick around and boost that average up quite a bit. I mean, I reckon you have to be here. I mean, do I? Would you notice if I wasn't? It's a genuine question, because I'll have a night off if you won't. Just leave it to run itself. That's hot. Look at that, it's holding itself in place. There we go. Wasn't that so much more successful than the first side? All the steps nicely on there now. I watch the rest of the stream the next day if I go before the end. Well, that is definitely very much appreciated. The average viewership time on my live streams is 30 minutes. And I'm more than happy with that. I think that's really good, personally. No, you just pulled the step off. You did it, not me. But yeah, I reckon there's bound to be a few people that stick around for the whole stream and bump that average up quite a bit. But I'm happy with it. But I really do appreciate people that do watch it all, and also watch it the next day if they can't. It does mean a lot. Yeah, that one's not going to cause any problem at all, is it? No. Let's see what we can do about that. I suppose it's my own fault for not soldering the ends of these ones in the first place. Make sure you do that, everyone. Now you know. I was late, but I've been here over an hour. We'll be here for the hour or so remaining. And I very much appreciate it, Killian. It's better watching without having to be up for work in the morning. Work. See, I don't have to be up for work, but I do have to be up to make sure the kids are ready to go to school. And I mean, technically, for me, this is work. There we go. One bogey finished with wheels. Now I have to be very careful with what I'm doing here. And have a nice bit of Code 75 flexi track. Here's one that Pico made earlier. I'm rather happy with how that runs. Especially on my curvy bit of track. It slopes up at the end and sends it back. Yeah, I am happy with that. That's a very free rolling. Indeed, if I can get the whole rate like that, I will be a very happy man. We've got about an hour to build the other bogey. Can we manage it? No, is the answer. Not a hope. But we'll do what we can. Okay, they're reasonably simple, these ones. They are not designed to be compensated in any way whatsoever. The only problem with them is opening them out to get bearings in. Fair enough, Lewis. Good luck with that. There's one there. I did something very similar to that when I was at college. And now I have 2 kids. I'll leave primer to dry overnight. That sounds like a sensible idea. Approve of a second bogey. It does help. I find bogey coaches are improved. I find the running of bogey coaches is improved by having a second bogey. Don't put the hat off. There we go. Look, it's a bogey already. You don't know what she looks like. Well done. Well put, Christopher. Now we can solder up these corners. And it will stay rather bogey-like. Nice and solid. This is Silver Black. Right then. Axle box bits with rivets and stuff. Yeah, technical terms. I'm so glad I'm putting these on because you can definitely see them on this completed bogey. Definitely. Linny does make a good point, yeah. That's Linny for you, though. Linny's one of these clever people that knows things. I folded the bogey up the wrong way. You know, the bogey that I've already soldered and stuff. Yeah. Oops. Been at least 45 minutes since I told anyone I sat in a Havlin mosquito today. Well, hurry up and correct that and tell people, Christopher. Demo of how to desolder and rebend, I see. Yeah. I'm making another mistake on purpose so you don't have to. I think I've got enough off of that. This is one of my patented, I made this mistake on purpose to show you what mistakes are like and how to correct them mistakes. Let's see the down and chant all the ladies and steal the scenes. This is one of the good things about soldering, is that you can do this. I'm going to let it cool down a bit now. Let's do this here half a new one from Mr. D. Haviland of spruce ply and balsa. He must. Well, I've got some balsa here. Could this be a mosquito? Must stop now before YouTube and copyright and all that jazz. Right, I need to remove a little bit more out of there. Needs to be 1 mil. I think this is 2 mil, unfortunately. Yeah, this is 2 mil but square section. Evening chaps, chapettes and non-chap, knows how are we all? Very well, thanks Thomas. How are you? Oh yes, that will certainly make unfolding that easier. It's always much easier to unfold things that have snapped apart at the seams. So you see, this actually wants to be folded this way. Not the other way, how we folded it wrong on purpose to start with, to show you that these things could be undone. Right, cheers, glad not to be sleeping all day away. Unlike yesterday, I had my flu jab yesterday, so it knocked me a bit for 6. I approve of flu jabs. I've got my COVID booster in a couple of weeks. Because more jabs is the best type of jabs. And now you see, we'll reflux everything. Probably don't want that much flux just for that corner. I've still never had a flu jab. I do. I get my flu jab every year. Tell you what, it's better than getting the flu. Yeah, I got one booked for sometime around the 9th-ish. Got my COVID. My booster booked December, code for booster. Yeah, I assumed that's what you meant. Mine's booked for the 13th, which is a Monday, because it was the earliest Monday I could get. Because, you know, Monday being my one true day off. Sort of feels like the day to do it. There we go. See, and even if you solder your bogey the wrong way round, it's nice and easy to correct and put that together the right way round. So now you know. But also, don't do it. You've seen me do it now. Don't do the same thing. It sort of does. That's handy. Look at that fitting around my soldering block. Perfect. Does anyone know who's going to be producing this C135 that isn't Hornby? Was watching the Hornby program, basically retooled theirs because of another manufacturer doing so. I have heard rumours. They are nothing more than rumours. I don't know if I can pass them on, though. And I also wouldn't really want to be speculating on something that I don't know for sure. But it is definitely a company that it doesn't surprise me to hear they are the other company doing it. So I believe the rumours. That's all you're getting from me. Oh, and if it is them, it will definitely be better than Hornby's. So the price is going to be compared. It's always kind of like to get a Model 1, but after Hornby doing that, I'm not too keen on getting their offering. So I wouldn't expect it to be stupidly priced, and I would definitely expect it to be better than Hornby's. But that is the attitude of Simon Kohler. It's why I don't like him, is stuff like this. And the way he walked in and said that in that meeting at the start of the show clearly says to everyone who's ever defended Hornby, saying they don't go after other companies and do things just for the sake of duplicating them. Yeah, clearly they do, don't they? He made that point very clear. Up there it is. Mug of hot chocolate, feet up, watching this on the TV. Good times. Aha. I approve of hot chocolate. That show has put me right off buying Hornby product. I think that's the opposite of what they were going for. But yeah, totally understandable. As far as I'm concerned. Can't wait until the carriage is finished. It's going to be nice, this carriage, isn't it? I am really happy with the progress we've made on it. That is partially why I buy second hand. Well, you'd love my shop. It's mostly second hand. Price Hornby stuff too. Oh, yeah. And they're not what they used to be either, are they? There was a time where a Hornby product could be, well, at least it's going to run. Unless they didn't get the pre-cut, so take that bit out. Yeah. So I can't afford new stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I will be very double O and I can't not buy the Airfix 124 scale Mosquito. Oh, yes. Yeah, fair enough. Need to buy some stock in for the shop. I do. But it's the problem with the shop is that I've got no back room to store stock in. So when it sells, it leaves a gap on the shelf. I'm relying on people coming and giving me second hand to keep second hand stuff topped up. And new stuff can, at the moment, take up to 2 weeks to arrive. So if someone comes in and buys everything, I could have an empty looking shop for 2 weeks. I still like Lima. I mean, I've got Lima stuff in the shop, I think. And of course, Hornby still makes some Lima stuff. They've just changed the name on it. I've just remembered that I actually want these sides completely covered, don't I? When we're sticking the white metal on. Right, yeah, right, come Wednesday. I'll be taking that Dapol 2p off your hands. Need one thing I'm doing for some friends. And also, got another 2p. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Lima diesels are basic with detail, but are proportionally right. If their mechanisms are better, they make excellent detail projects. Yes, they do. I've seen some fantastic things done with Lima diesels. You need more maroon cat. No, just no. It's not even funny to joke about. Blooming maroon coaches. Why will no one buy them from me? I have so many maroon coaches. Detailing them up is half. Detailing them up is all the fun. I get so much more enjoyment out of this hobby sitting here working on stuff than I do playing trains. It took me way too long to realise that this was the part of the hobby I enjoy. Half the phone's battery was buckling into it. Exactly. What's the fun in buying something off the shelf and leaving it as it came off the shelf? And I've got this thing here sat waiting for some attention. That's going to be a fun project. New wheels so it can run on code 75 track, detailing it up, fitting LED lights, possibly even red and white shunting panels, 3-link couplings, bigger buffers. Oh dear, Linny. Oh dear. My leaving class 37 has been mistaken for a backman several times. Excellent. That is when you know you are doing well. Yeah, let's not forget my Hornby Peckett as well, which doesn't look overly like a Hornby Peckett anymore. The fun is definitely in the bashing of them. Any money to pay for a 2p? Oh, you're all mad. Now, what did I do with all those bearings? There they are. Yeah, I approve of tiny shunter boys. I mean, they are great. I love small engines. There it is. I lost this. It's kind of important. Get a 2p for 2p. No. No, you could not. Not from me, anyway. Generous Gary's willing to be. So I've got this policy at the shop, Thomas. I like to sell things for enough that I'm going to be able to pay my wages. That's the level of generosity you'll get from me. Buy one of Gary's £15 shunters. Yeah, then I don't have to buy one of them if someone buys both of them. I've got two of those Lima diesel shunters in the shop. In BR blue. Oh, see, he never came back. I was safe. My other customer I was telling you about did come back though. The one who comes in and spends loads every time. Literally 5 minutes before I was closing up, he came in. I'd like to buy some. I'd like to buy these and these and these, and then spend like 200 quid. Ah, thank you. You have made my day worthwhile. There we go. That'll be enough now. That'll fit in nicely. Yeah. If I had a use for one of the Lima shunters, I'd take them off your hands. In all fairness, too foreign for me. Ah, boo. But half the fun is in bashing them to be what you want. And, you know, they can be anything. I genuinely really like them as a model as well. No idea what I'd want though, unfortunately. Well, maybe once you get one in your hands, you'll know what you want. Why give the hobby up, to be honest? Well, that's boring, giving the hobby up. Don't do that. How can I bash a Lima shunter into a 57/8 pannier tank, though? With a lot of patience and a lot of skill. That's the answer to that. You'll need a new chassis, a new body, a new motor, some new wheels. I have a spare split chassis 8750. I'm not sure I understand this concept of spare locos. By just using the motor axles on wheel rims. No, the wheels are too small. You need to replace them outright. I mean, I still don't know what I'm going to do with this. But it'll be something. I have 2 plus a 57XX. So you've got 3 57XXs then? Because as we all know, every Great Western engine is a 57XX. Where's the motors sit on the shunters? It's certainly on an Atzeroff style ask. My J50 is an awkward motor mounted just like the O-Gauge 4F. The motors in the Lima shunters are Ringfield style pancake motors. We've just found an eBay seller selling 1/16 inch high lettering transfers as well as larger sizes. Shop lettering, here we come. Excellent! That's what I like to hear, Linny. New 3D printed body for that garage. You know what? You might be right, Killian. You might be right. You've got one that sits on those quite nicely and is reasonably accurate, haven't you? Get another make it up at Farley. So I have another one sat behind the counter at the shop that I could genuinely bring home and do that. I'm not going to. I've also got a brand new one. Got many 57XXs in that case. Yeah, I thought so. Well, I've got another 57XX set up here. This 57XX is called Lord of the Isles. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's in an interesting condition. But the important point is I have it. I know type of motor, but some are set centrally like in Hornby tenders and some are off to one side. Centralite tenders might have a use for the chassis of one of them. Well, I will have to let you know on Tuesday. I wouldn't say reasonably accurate, but certainly more interesting than what they make. Fair enough. I just have many panniers outright. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think I own an intact pannier tank anymore, though. I used to. I used to have a 57XX and 2721. But I think they've both faced the chop. Very see. I mean, there is always that. Steampunk it. No, I could never do as good a job as Corbs. So I can't do that. Turn it into an SER single. Did the SER have ones with wheels quite that massive? There we go. They are all good now. We can get the bearings in. How's the carriage coming along? Well, we are still working on the second bogie. It's getting there. Just about to solder in the bearings once I've got it cleaned up. Yes, yeah, I had Cramptons. Yeah, but that would be a long way from what it's starting as. It turns out to be central. That'll make one of my Class I4 simple bash to be powered and have the wheels hidden. Still going to attempt a printed chassis with one of them though. Fair enough. See the doctor about that. Oh dear. But yeah, so it's a long way to go from Lord of the Isles to a Crampton. That really is just using the driving wheels, isn't it? I don't want to say that me losing tools might be less to do with me not putting them away and more to do with me being an idiot. But I did just have to stop and look around for my soldering iron there. Which, of course, was in the soldering iron holder at the soldering iron station. So it's certainly a possibility. Car, you still sort of fit. Okay. Just give it a quick twist. Okay, let's do that on all of them. The SE&CR had Cudworth singles. And what were the wheel sizes like on those? There we go, that's better. But yes, might well sell off 90% of all my stuff. Just keep a few special bits. What's bought that on, Christopher? Pretty sure even the Cramptons had smaller wheels than the Dean singles. I mean, they were quite large wheeled locos, weren't they? Though the Brighton singles, the wheels were significantly smaller. There we go, I fixed it. I'm back and I would like one of each, Crampton and any single. Well, we were discussing what I could do with this. So it's in an interesting condition. Is it bad? I'm not a fan of the Dean singles. Not at all. Each to their own. It's been sitting up there for quite a while now. It's given to me by a customer. And I have no idea what to do with it. Other than obviously not leave it as a Dean single. Kirkandley SE&CR Cramptons had 7-foot wheels. Aha. Now we're getting somewhere. I mean, it's still a bit of a stretch to turn a Dean single into a Crampton and say I started with a Dean single. And what part of the Dean single did you use? Well, there's the wheels. Dean single's wheels are still 8.5" too large. Are the triangle ones actually 8.5" too large though? That's the question. There's a drawing of the SCR Stevenson Crampton on your Discord. Is there now? Look at that, we've got another bogey. Totally finished to exactly the same standard as the other one. As you can see, they are all but identical. I told you we wouldn't get that bogey finished tonight, and it is actually 5 to midnight here now. Let's see how well it runs. Need to improve my lathe skills because I need to make insulated axles for my 50 pounds low scale wheels I just got. Yeah. That one's quite a nice runner as well. Just become so disillusioned with it all. Oh, that's not good. Don't do that. Just found an MR single that looks oddly similar to Lord of the Isles. Would that be the one I've got a kit for to build at some point? Love trains. Still want to go see Steam. But fair enough. Yeah, let's see. So, you know, once we've got a carriage on these, they'll be fine. They're really nice running bogies. Look at that. See, the carriage is finished. Absolutely nothing missing. No, dear, just popped in Discord with a wee ping to yourself. Fair enough. I'll have a look shortly. See? Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. I knew we'd get it finished. Finished open carriage. Yeah, exactly. Totally 100% finished carriage. I like the way it dances on its bogies. Won't the passengers get a bit damp? No, this is a southeastern carriage where it's always sunny. we don't have rain here, so they won't get damp at all. Yeah, they'll be super happy. I suppose at some point I should add these bits, really, shouldn't I? And, you know, actually finish it. But that is definitely not a job for tonight. We're going to cover this side of this in solder because I forgot to do it earlier. Because it will want to all be tinned for the white metal parts. But we have reached that time of the night. It's now 2 minutes to midnight. Stop putting stuff on the cable for the soldering iron. There we go. All tinned up, ready for next week. Yeah, there we have our finished carriage, ready to go. So next week is either going to be some shunting on South Park Quarry to try out my new shunting puzzle camera. Look, it's weird, I can sit here on camera and show you my camera. It's either going to be shunting with that, or it's going to be actually finishing this off. Well, you know, as much as we can at the minute, with me being the really organised person I am. But then there'll be some time to get back on with the layout build for South Park Quarry. Won't it be great to see some more of that? That's what everyone wants to see, according to my poll the other day. So remember, before we leave tonight, there is that poll on the community page of my YouTube channel to ask what you want to see. Make sure you have gone and voted on that so that I get an accurate idea of what you all want to see and I can tailor my content around it. And also don't forget that we are now down to the last few hours for you to enter into the giveaway for the book. Jump back to Tuesday's video, leave a like and a comment and make sure you're subscribed to the channel for your chance to win that. But in the meantime, it is now midnight. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. I've had a wonderful time. I hope you have too. We've made a decent amount of progress. And I will see you in the 500 subscriber giveaway draw on Tuesday. And then back here next Sunday, same time, same place. So all that's left for me to say, thank you for watching. This has been Let's Build. I've been Gary. You've been awesome as always. Good night.